Now, across Texas, the issue is...
I'm Greg Krugen in Houston.
I'm Stephen Dial in Dallas.
And I'm Rudy Koski in Austin. And this is Texas. The issue is...
Longtime Texas Congressman Michael McCaul chairs the House Foreign Affairs Committee and has become a powerful voice regarding the multiple ongoing threats to our national security. This week we talk China, the border crisis, arming Ukraine, and the costly American retreat from Afghanistan. You have been extremely critical of the administration in regard to the chaotic pullout from Afghanistan. The revelation of an undisclosed dissent cable from 23 members of the embassy staff has triggered a subpoena from your committee demanding Secretary of State Blinken respond. What do you hope to learn?
What I want to get from this dissenting cable was in July, 23 embassy employees out of Kabul on the ground in Afghanistan sent a cable of dissent to the policy of the administration and to the Secretary of State. That's a pretty powerful statement that your troops on the ground, and in other words, your diplomats on the ground, do not support what you're doing. Yet the State Department utterly fails to turn this over to Congress, where we have a constitutional right for oversight for the American people. And not just that, but the veterans and the Gold Star mothers who lost their children. I met many who thanked me for what I'm trying to do. They would not turn these cables over to me. And I offered to see them in camera in a classified setting. They would not budge on this. And so I was really left with no other choice than to serve a subpoena. I've done that before as a federal prosecutor, but I think the American people deserve to know what were in those cables, what was the Secretary's response. And beyond that, Greg, we had the sniper testify who was in Kabul at the airport during the evacuation, who had the suicide bomber that killed 13 servicemen and women in his sights, ask his commanding officer for permission to engage the target, and he was not given that authority or permission to engage. This was a dereliction of duty, and I want to go all the way up the chain of command, as high as it goes, to find out what in the world happened.
Chairman McCaul, 2.5 years have passed and 5.5 million uninvited immigrants have crossed into the nation, many through Texas. How many have legitimate asylum claims? And what are your biggest concerns moving forward?
Well, when I chaired Homeland Security Committee as a federal prosecutor in the Western District of Texas, only 15% have legitimate political asylum claims. That means 85% do not. This is why the Remain in Mexico policy was working so well. It required them to remain in Mexico pending their asylum claim, and then 85% were rejected, and then they'd have to return home. Once they touch foot in the United States like they do today, after the Biden administration rescinded that migrant protection policy, that changed everything. With catch and release without detention space, they're then released into society. And, of course, the cartels are very much aware of our laws, and they know when they change. And this was an open invitation to invite the situation we're in right now.
Chairman, you warned early and often about the ongoing national security threat posed by China. What are some fundamental facts you want everyday Texans to remember as we move into the future on everything from TikTok to Taiwan?
But I think China long-term is the greatest national security threat. They are moving ahead both militarily but also economically. They're getting very good with their digital, their investments in AI, quantum computing, 5G. I think the flashpoint I look at are twofold. One is they're arming, helping Russia by sending arms into Ukraine. Secondly, their threat to Taiwan and the Pacific. Chairman Xi is very intent on reunification of Taiwan with this country, which when I look back to my dad's war, World War II, they liberated Europe and the Pacific, and now you see two dictators trying to take that back. And why is Taiwan so important? Because 90% of the advanced semiconductor chips are manufactured on that island because we've offshored everything for so long. And that's why I introduced and passed my CHIPS for America Act to pull that supply chain out of Taiwan and China and start manufacturing it back here in the United States.
Chairman, speaking of Russia, you have been a stout supporter of Ukraine, and yet your own party appears to be divided on how long America's military and financial aid should extend. You've called for heightened oversight. Why?
So I'm going to keep that oversight because I think the American people want to know where the money is gone. And they also, they want to know what is the policy, what is the outcome we're looking for. There's going to be a counteroffensive by the Ukrainians fairly soon. And my biggest complaint with the administration is the lack of ability to get the weapons the Ukrainians need to win this fight. The Ukrainians have demonstrated a will to fight and to win if we can just give them the weapons. I'll give you this one stat. We have disintegrated 60% of the Russian military without one American soldier at a cost of less than 3% of the defense budget. A major setback to a foreign nation adversary and a major deterrent to Chairman Xi in China from invading Taiwan.
Okay, fellas, my one-word description is fortify. Stephen, what's your word?
My word is global.
Okay, Rudy, lay it on me.
Articles?
Well, there you have it. Stay with us. The Fox Texas Trio is unpacking Chairman McCaul's call for vigilance and preparation on the other side of this break.